Hi guys, I thought today's video would be one about the books that I'm borrowing from the library. I'm a real book lover and I've loved books ever since I was little. For me, the perfect afternoon or evening spent is with some music in the background and reading a really good book. I'm just now itching for some free time to get going with this little pile that I've got here. So I thought I'd show you the books that I've got. And this first one is called Other People's Money. And it's a BBC documentary and it's about the rise and fall of Britain's most audacious fraudster. The book is written by Neil Forsyth. And the main person it focuses on is somebody called Elliot Castro. And it is a true story. So basically, Elliot Castro was just a teenager when he began to use his formidable intelligence and charm to swindle millions from the credit card system. No outside individual has ever pulled off this scale of fraudulent activity. But the money wasn't funding an addiction or other criminal enterprises. Elliot was simply a working class kid with no qualifications who wanted to see the world. From London to New York, Ibiza to Beverly Hills, Castro lived a fantasy life. He stayed in famous hotels, travelled first class, and blew a small fortune on designer clothes and champagne. So yes, true life story. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one starts and finishes and what happens to him. So the next book that I've borrowed is one called Dumb Money by Ben Mesrick. I have actually read this book before. And it's about the GameStop short squeeze and the ragtag group of amateur traders that brought Wall Street to its knees. So for anyone who's into stocks and shares, pays an interest in it, they might remember the Wall Street fiasco that happened, I think it was about 4 years ago, regarding GameStop. So basically, the book goes into detail of what happens, and it's an account of how a loosely affiliated group of private investors and internet trolls took down one of the biggest hedge funds on Wall Street, firing the first shot in a revolution that threatens to upend the financial establishment. It started on a subreddit forum called Wall Street Bets, a meme-filled, freewheeling place where a desperate group of investors shared their shoot-the-moon investment tips, laughed about big losses and posted diamond hand emojis. Until some members noticed an opportunity in GameStop, a flailing brick-and-mortar video game retailer, and somehow rode a rocket ship to tens of millions of dollars in earnings overnight, simultaneously triggering unfathomable losses for one of the most respected funds on Wall Street. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy reading that again. That's the second book. So the third book is one by one of my favourite authors, Susan Lewis. This one is called The Girl Who Came Back. So I've just recently started getting into her books. I think I've read maybe about half a dozen now, and she's such a good author. So this one is about when Jules Bright hears a knock at the door. The last person she expects to find is a detective bringing her the news she's feared for the past 3 years. Amelia Quentin is being released from prison. Jules' life is very different now to the one she'd known before Amelia shattered it completely. Knowing the girl is coming back, she needs to decide what to do. Friends and family gather round, fearing for Jules' safety. They know that justice was never served. Every one of them wants to make the Quentin girl pay. The question is, what will Jules do? And which of them, she or Amelia, has the most to fear? So yeah, this looks like a really good read. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And that's The Girl Who Came Back by Susan Lewis. Fourth on the list, one that you might have heard of, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. And this is a really popular book in personal finance circles. A lot of people like him, don't like him, but yeah, I'm interested to read what he's got to say. I think I have read this book a few years ago, but this is an updated version. And basically, it is a personal finance book which has stood the test of time, and apparently it explodes the myth that you need to earn a high income to become rich, especially in a world where technology, robots and a global economy are changing the rules. It teaches why acquiring and building assets can be more important to your future than a big paycheck, and the tax advantages investors and business owners enjoy. So yep, let's see how that one gets on. And the fifth book that's on the pile is one called Feel Good Productivity, and that's by Ali Abdaal, and it's how to do more of what matters to you. This one looks really interesting actually, and apparently the information reads that the secret to productivity isn't discipline, it's joy. So we think that productivity is all about hard work, but what if there's another way? Dr. Ali Abdaal, the world's most followed productivity expert, has uncovered an easier, happier path to success. One rooted not in discipline but in joy. He has discovered that if you can make your work feel good, then productivity takes care of itself. So yeah, I think that could be quite an interesting read actually. So thanks for tuning in with all my recommendations of all the books that I'm about to read. I'm sure at some point I'll be able to let you know what I thought of these books, maybe give them a rating of 10 out of 10 and whether they're worth reading. But thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe it's given you food for thought for getting back into reading when you've got some quiet time. And if you've liked this video, I'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.